Okay, men, today we're talking about a difficult subject, which is my wife cheated. What should I do? So, if you're in this situation, first of all, I'm so sorry. This is very difficult, and I'm glad you're here though to get some ideas about how to get through this. And by the end of this episode here, I want you to have some clear steps about what you can do. So, first of all, I want you to not act too fast. Okay. So when you learn that your wife cheated, you're going to have a lot of powerful emotions going on. One of those is going to be anger, right? You're going to be angry at your wife, at the affair person, right? So mad that you're maybe even thinking about hurting them. Okay? Do not do that, right? Ending up in jail, it doesn't make you more attractive to her. It's not going to help your life go any better. It's not going to set a good example to your children. Okay? You do not want to do that. But when you feel so overwhelmed with anger, it's hard to even think about anything else. We're going to talk about today how to deal with these emotions more effectively. And so you'll have a much better way to deal with them soon. As a quick intro to that, you want to name it. So when you start feeling angry, just name your anger, feel it, notice where it is in your body, then deal with it effectively. And that's not by hurting somebody. It's by moving around, doing some exercise, things like that. Okay, you're going to feel sad, all right? You're going to feel like your sense of worth has really been taking a hit here. Some guys even feel like, maybe life's not worth it anymore. And if you're at that spot, just get some help, okay? Call 1-800-SUICIDE if you're getting to that place, okay? Your life is worth it, right? No matter what, okay? If you have kids, they need you. Your family needs you. You have a lot to contribute to this world. So if you're getting there, just reach out, get some help. You're going to feel jealous, okay? Normal emotion here. Okay, so just, again, do not act on these. You don't want to end up causing more damage than needs to be there. No violence, okay? You do not want to end up in jail. Also, no screaming, okay? When you go up to your wife and you start screaming or yelling, how could you ever do this? I can't believe this, right? That's not doing you any favors, okay? No vengeance, right? I like the show The Punisher, but living your life like that, not a good way to go, okay? Being consumed by this, desire to just get revenge on people, just not a good way to live. It's lonely, it's sad, it's just no fun. No revenge affairs, okay? Don't go out and have an affair with somebody else because now you've become the person that you are so angry at. Again, notice, feel, deal. Name, feel, deal. We're going to get to that. And kind of a great guiding principle here is to act in a way that you and your kids can be proud of. Okay, so you look back and you say, hey, that happened, but I didn't stoop to that level of having an affair back or screaming at her or getting revenge, right? I handled it in a mature way. And we're going to learn more what that mature way is as we go through here. So a little about me again. My name is Mike Frazier, MD. You might be wondering how I can even help you. So I want to tell you how. So I studied neuroscience, the brain and how it works at BYU in undergrad. I went to UCLA for medical school where I got my MD degree. I studied psychiatry, so all about the brain and emotions and how all that works, relationships. I'm married with 5 children. So my wife, she was a victim of sex trafficking, meaning that she was forced into having sex with other people, actually by her parents. So she went through that for years, and actually it happened into our marriage. So while, I get what it's like to have your wife with another guy, and it's awful. It's a different situation than hopefully pretty much anyone listening to this is dealing with. Some of you maybe do have the situation, so I get that very well, but it's hard to know your wife's been with somebody else. So I do marriage coaching for professional men, and I use what I've learned in my marriage. We have a great marriage now. We went through a lot of struggles because of the things that she'd been through and my own need to grow up. So I use that and my experience with other people and everything I've learned to help guys. I've been cited in Men's Journal, Redbook, Ask Men, and the U.S. News and World Report. And I love my work. I love doing it. I see it as helping men save their marriages by becoming the best possible version of themselves. That's what we're all about. So one thing I want you to understand is when your wife cheats, right, you're going to go through a grieving process. Okay, an affair, it's a big loss. So you lose your sense of self in a way, right? This woman who is supposed to know you and care about you more than anybody else went after somebody else. That's hard, okay? Your marriage, right? You've lost your marriage. It's in trouble, right? You feel like you've lost it. You haven't necessarily lost it yet. I want to enforce that point. But another thing that we don't really think about all the time is that we lost our past, right? So you look back at these memories with your wife and you're like, wow, I thought we were really connected here, but, she was with this other guy then, or she was having this emotional affair with this other guy. How much of that was real? How much of that was fake between us? And that's a hard loss. Okay. So anytime you have a big loss, it's normal to have a grieving process. So the stages of grieving, one is denial. So that could have been like kind of ignoring the signs as it was going on. Oh, she's just talking to this guy a lot, or yeah, she's out a lot, but no big deal. Or just thinking it's not true. So you find it out, or she tells you even, or you catch them together, or whatever it was, and you're just like, no, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. Your brain just kind of shuts it down. Okay, normal to have that happen. Anger, we've talked about. Anger at yourself really has happened, at your wife, at the affair person, even at God. Like, you can be thinking, man, I was trying to do everything right. How could God let this happen to me? I know, so this happened to me big time, where I was angry at all of these things when I found out. Okay, especially angry at God. Like, how could he let this happen to my wife, right? And to me. Bargaining, right? If only I would have done this, then this would have happened. For mine is like, if only I would have seen these signs earlier, I could have like helped her or saved her or stopped it or whatever. So that can definitely happen. Or if I just would have, been the better guy, this wouldn't have happened. Or if I would have saw that text earlier or whatever. Okay. Then depression. Okay, feeling sad, forgetting your sense of worth, forgetting that you have infinite worth and potential as a son of God if you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, as a perfectly evolved person, okay, you have all that worth. We can forget that. We can feel sad. We feel sad about all this loss that we've just gone through, okay? It's normal. It's normal to feel that. Don't feel like something's wrong with you. And then finally, acceptance, which is where we want to get to a place of a peaceful decision about what to do for the future and a plan for the future, okay? And I want to walk you through some steps to get to that. What I want you to know, that's not a straight line, okay? You can be at a peaceful place and then get mad again, or, you can kind of get back to denial, or you can get back to depressed, or get back to bargaining, or, it kind of jumps around. So just know that's normal. And guys, get support through this, okay? So we have a support group for men, a Facebook group called Win Your Wife Back, men's marriage group on Facebook. You're welcome to join there. Invite you to join there. Get support from friends, family. It's okay to tell your friends and family what happened. Okay, it happened to you, but this is the reality, and you need support because this was a big hit, a big loss. Okay. The other thing I want you to understand in this is trauma. Okay, so I have a picture of a car accident here because that's a traumatic event. And, we can kind of relate what happens to that to what happens with an affair. So learning your wife cheated, it's very traumatic, okay? It's painful. So you can have intrusive thoughts of what happened, okay? That the image of her with somebody else can just pop into your head, or her talking to this other guy, or her, being with them at your favorite restaurant or whatever, right? These thoughts can just come in. Just understand that's normal, okay? You're not crazy. This is normal, a normal thing that happens in trauma. Like if you have a car accident, you're going to have memories of that, especially while you're driving, okay? You could have nightmares about it, about her being with this guy. Or are you like taking vengeance on them or things like that, okay? Again, normal, okay? It's normal to have these thoughts. Avoiding places or people that remind you of the affair, right? Avoiding church, avoiding family, whatever it might be. Or restaurants, whatever. Again, depression. This is hard, right? So you're going to feel down about the situation. You're going to be doubting your sense of self. Again, this woman that was supposed to love you so much chose somebody else. That's hard, okay? Normal to feel that. Normal to think that. It's okay. Anger, right? We've talked about already. Also, isolation, pulling yourself away. Numbness, not really feeling much of anything. Okay, these are all symptoms of trauma, and you can expect them after learning that your wife cheated. Okay, that's normal. Also, just being super irritable, like at your kids, at work, wherever, it's normal to feel that. Okay. Again, all to be expected. Doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. Again, get support. Jump to our group. Find a betrayal trauma group. Search out betrayal trauma online. Okay. Just get help, friends, family, church groups. So I said we'd talk about this a little more in detail because, again, all of these are emotions that can be pretty overwhelming and pretty hard to deal with. So this is a quick 3-part strategy you can use to deal with any emotion that feels overwhelming. Okay? Name, feel, and deal. So the first thing you do is just name what you're feeling. Okay? And, there's the saying, guys, they're not very good with emotions. They don't know how to deal with emotions. Okay, we don't need to be like that, all right? And we don't need to go like super technical with this, okay? There's really only a few core emotions that we have, so we're just going to work with those. And the ones that we're feeling in this situation are going to be anger, okay, sadness, and feeling scared or anxious, okay? That's pretty much it. Those are the hard ones that we're going to be dealing with. Jealousy, I would just say, is mainly anger, okay? Anger towards certain people. Kind of mixed with sadness, you could say. But anyway, so we just want to name it. So when you start feeling angry, you just say to yourself, I'm feeling angry. Or you start feeling sad, you just say, I'm feeling sad. Or you're just feeling scared, you just say, I'm feeling scared. Okay, it's simple, but it's very powerful because now instead of your emotion controlling you, you're starting to control the emotion by naming it. Okay. The next part of it is feel. So you just feel where it is in your body. Okay. So for anger, for me and for a lot of guys, they feel it in their chest. Or I feel it in my chest. It starts there, kind of rises up to my neck, goes out to my arms sometimes, feels kind of hot. Okay, if I give it a color, I'd call it red. So I name it. I'm feeling angry. I feel it in my body. Okay. If I'm feeling sad, that's more like a heaviness in my chest. I kind of feel like shrunken in and kind of small, kind of down. We'd probably call it blue or like black. Okay. If I'm feeling anxious, I tend to feel that kind of as like a jitteriness in my hands and fingers, kind of a butterflies in my stomach, or even like a sick feeling to my stomach if it's really bad, and almost like a tingling kind of in my neck sometimes. So anyway, so I name it and then I feel it, right? And that's what I want you to do. Name it and feel it, okay? And then you deal with it. You deal with it effectively, okay? So for anger, what anger typically calls for is movement and exercise. So your body's mobilizing you into fight or flight mode. So your body, what's happening in your brain is your thinking part of your brain is kind of shut down when you start feeling very angry, okay? Your pupils dilate, you're seeing things better, the blood's going into your arms and legs, you're getting ready to move, to fight, to run, okay? So again, your thinking brain is kind of shut down to conserve energy for you to fight or run away. So if you're talking to your wife and you're talking about the affair and you start noticing this come on, I want you to do this, right? So you say, I'm feeling angry, and you notice where you feel it. I feel it in my chest. And you just say, I need to walk away right now and come back later because your thinking brain is gone, all right? You're in fight or flight mode. Let's walk away. Another thing you can do during this is some relaxation exercises. So just doing some slow breathing, okay, I'm feeling angry. I'm going to take 5 slow breaths. So you'd breathe in slow, out slow, in slow, out slow. Slow breathing, it actually activates your rest and digest nervous system. It's called your parasympathetic nervous system. It's like the opposite of that fight or flight system. So doing that slow breathing, it can really kind of slow down that whole reaction, which is great. Another thing that can help is progressive muscle relaxation. So you like tighten your toes, you like crunch up your toes for a couple seconds and then relax them. And then you stand on your tiptoes and then you relax your calf muscles. You tighten your quadriceps and you relax those. You kind of work all the way up to your head. So those relaxation exercises are also really helpful to just slow down that fight or flight response, bring that thinking brain back online. So if you can do that in the moment, take those slow breaths, that's great. But typically when you're first starting out with that, you'll have to go away for a while, do some slow breathing or do some exercise, get moving around, and then kind of come back. Okay, because you don't want to be trying to negotiate in anger. It just doesn't work. You need that thinking brain back online. So relax, move, exercise, okay, do slow breathing. If you're feeling sad, the things that tend to help for that are letting yourself cry. So a lot of times guys are sort of afraid to cry. Oh, it's weak to cry, whatever. But crying can be really healing, actually. There's a lot of research about that. So just let it come. Don't try to fight it. It's fine, right? A lot of times we want to do it by ourselves. That's fine. Being with friends, being around people that care about you can really help lift you up when you're feeling sad. Good music is another thing. Even with anger too, music can help with any of these. If you're feeling more scared or anxious, a big, huge help that we don't use enough is writing out our thoughts. Okay? Also, that slow breathing can help too, to calm down that whole thing. But for this one, anxiety typically is, thoughts about our future, right? So we're thinking, what if this, what if that? What if my wife doesn't want to be with me anymore? What if, we get divorced and my kids, all turn out terrible, or, whatever. So when you write them out, they become less powerful. So take some time. If you're feeling really anxious, write out the thoughts that are causing you that anxiety. Okay? Make a plan as best you can. Okay? Being with friends, again, can help. Movement and exercise, too, because, again, you're sort of in that fight or flight mode, so some of that can help. But really, for anxiety, writing out your thoughts is the best thing you can do. So now you want to get to a place where you can, make a decision. Should you stay or should you go? So I want to give you a little formula for that. So once you're calmed down and you're using these things, you can go have a discussion with your wife, find out, why she did cheat. So you're going to get a sense then of kind of her attitude, and you'll be able to learn from that too. But I want you also to give yourself permission to leave, right? You can't really choose to stay unless you have the option to leave. And you can't really choose to leave unless you give yourself the option to stay. So it kind of cuts both ways. Some people will be prone to think, well, if my wife cheats, it's over. Some people will be prone to cheat, well, no matter what, I have to stay with my wife. Neither of those are true, right? So you need to give yourself permission to do either one, okay? Or else you're not really choosing. So you need to write out and weigh the pros and cons of both. Okay? You need to take a good chunk of time to do this. Okay? This is not a simple decision. You want to consider what effect it's going to have on the kids. Okay? What kind of man you want to be. Okay? Another thing that can be helpful as you're writing out these pros and cons, remembering what drew you to her in the first place. Sometimes it's easy to forget that when your wife cheats on you. It can be very hard to remember what drew you to her in the first place. But as you're sitting and you're thinking, just try to get back to that. You also want to see your side in things. Okay, either way, this can be a really good opportunity for you to see how to become a better man, a better husband, either to your wife or to, if you want to get married in the future, to your future wife. If you decide, hey, this isn't going to work out. It's going to help you see how to be a better father, a better example to your kids, okay, if you have kids. Or just a better person in the world, right? A better person at work. You want to evaluate her attitude, okay? Is she very repentant about this? Is she very upset? Is she wanting to make things better? Or is she kind of like, you know what, yeah, I had this affair and deal with it. Or I'm going to keep having this affair and, screw you. Okay, you need to weigh that into your decision. And you need to respect yourself equally to her, right? So you don't want to be at this spot where you think you're so much better than your wife, where you're saying, oh, you cheated and so you're terrible and I'm without any kind of fault in this, right? Again, you need to remember your side in things. How did I contribute to this? Okay. So you don't want to go above her. You also don't want to go below her and say, hey, you can cheat all you want and I'm going to be here and I hope you come back sometime, right? Because that's not good for you. It's not good for her. Right? It's not good for anybody. You don't want to be below her. You don't want to be above her. You want to be equal to her. So you need to figure out what's your deal breaker, right? Is your deal breaker her just continuing this affair and not seeming to have any kind of remorse about it? Is your deal breaker just their affair, period? It's going to be a very personal decision. Okay? It takes a lot of thought, meditation, and I believe in prayer, right? If you're a religious person, this is definitely one to pray about. So you want to go through all this, weigh it out, write it out, and then just come to a decision. Yes, I'm going to stay. No, I'm not going to stay. And then, take that decision to God. If you believe in God, pray about it, okay? And then God is going to tell you in your mind and in your heart the right decision. In our church, I remember the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there's a scripture that says that he's going to tell us in our mind and in our heart. So if you feel peace in your heart about your decision and you are clear on that decision in your mind, you can know, yeah, this is a good decision, whether that's to stay or whether that's to go. But this is kind of the formula. Write it out, really think it out, and then make a decision and then pray about it, right? If you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in prayer, still write it all out, make a decision, and see how you feel about it, right? Do you feel peaceful? Do you not feel peaceful? Get counsel from people you trust, right? And that's good whether you believe in God or not, to get counsel from people you trust as you're making this decision. So if your wife cheated, you also need to understand the difference between three things which tend to get confused: forgiveness, faith, and trust. Okay. So forgiveness is really, it's just letting go of punishment, right? Not being the one that's going to try to punish your wife anymore. So letting God be the judge instead of you. Okay. It's also saying, I forgive you. There's something very powerful in just saying those words. So talking about my wife again, she actually went to her parents and told them she forgave them, which was amazing. And it was freeing for her, right? That they didn't control her life anymore. She wasn't out there trying to, get revenge on them anymore. I keep referring to The Punisher. There's another show called Revenge that my wife and I watched, where these characters just become so focused on their enemy. Their enemy really rules their life, right? So when you forgive them, they don't rule your life anymore. You're free, okay? So, but saying those words, I forgive you, it's hard, but it can be so powerful. Corrie ten Boom, she was a woman who was in the concentration camps, and she tells this story about her meeting one of the guards that was so vicious and so awful, and, kind of raising her arm really rigidly and shaking this guy's hand and saying, I forgive you. And when she said those words, just something flooded through her, just this peace and this calm. Okay, it's just powerful to say those words. Okay, I'd definitely encourage you to look that up. So faith is believing that your wife can change, believing that things can work out. So you can do either of these at any time. You can forgive your wife, you can forgive yourself, you can have faith in your wife that she can do better and that you can do better, okay, that things can work out. You can do that anytime. Trust, on the other hand, is different. It has to be earned over time by behavior, okay? So what I recommend in this, right, is that depending on how the affair happened, that you have her let you see things that are important to you. So like her social media, if it was online, texts, location, right? So because you need to verify these things, right? She's going to say stuff like, well, can't you just trust me? And your answer to that is no. Like, I can't trust you yet, right? You proved that I couldn't trust you to be faithful. So, but I want to. I believe that you can be faithful, but I need you to show me that over time. And so the way that you're going to show me that is by, letting me see these things so you can show me and so that I can trust you over time again, right? So again, you need to distinguish between these for your wife and for yourself. Okay? Forgiveness, again, letting go of punishment. Faith, believing that she can change. So when she says, can you just trust me? You say, I believe you can change, but I can't trust you yet, right? This just happened. You need to show me over time. So, I do need to see these texts, or I do need to check in on these things. And I don't mean to be overbearing, but it's important, right? I want to trust you, and this is how we do it. We build it brick by brick over time. We make and keep promises to each other, okay? She might say the same thing too. Well, how can I trust you not to yell at me or, ignore me or whatever? And you say, yeah, you're right. You can't trust me yet. I need to show you over time that I will listen, that I will follow through with my own promises, right? Making and keeping promises. That's how you build trust back. So the last thing I want to leave you guys with, if you are trying to win her back, if you've decided, yes, I'm going to stay with her, and, I am going to forgive her, and I'm going to believe things can get better, and I'm going to let her, start building trust back over time. You need to understand what attracts a woman, because at the end of the day, we all choose who we're going to be involved with romantically. Your wife's going to choose, you're going to choose. So you need to understand what attracts a woman. Okay, women, they're attracted to strength. Okay? In like caveman days, it used to be mainly physical, right? Okay, can this guy go hunt for me? Can he fight off a defender? Can he carve out a cave for me and my kids, right? So mainly physical. Nowadays, it's more about spiritual strength. So spiritual strength, I call being a man of your word, okay? Trustworthy, okay? That's the number one thing according to John Gottman, who's a big-time marriage researcher. The number one thing women look for, trustworthiness, okay? So is he going to be a man of his word? Are you going to be a man of your word? That's super attractive. Also, having a good sense of self-worth, knowing you have infinite worth and potential as a son of God, if you believe in God. If not, just knowing you have that infinite worth and potential as a human, right? And then being a man on a mission, knowing what you want from life and going for it. Just that, I mean, if you can do that, you're going to be ahead of 99.9% of guys out there. You're going to feel great about yourself, and you're going to attract basically whoever you want, just in the spiritual strength side. You want to go above and beyond, build emotional strength like we talked about today. Be able to name, feel, and deal with your emotions. How many guys can do that? Okay, very few. So if you can do that, super attractive. Mental strength, being able to choose your thoughts. So this is a concept that we teach, but that I like to teach guys a lot. Love teaching it. Your thoughts really kind of lead to your emotions. So if you can choose your thoughts, you can be able to manage your emotions much better, because you'll be able to see what thoughts are causing those and change those thoughts. Be patient with those thoughts and then choose ones that are more useful to you. Okay. Again, advanced skill there. Sexual strength. So this is about being able to not approach sex just for your own orgasm, but making it about connection between you two. Very few guys really approach it this way. And if you can learn how to do it, you're going to be super amazingly attractive. Again, ahead of 99.9999% of guys out there. You build these strengths. And this is what I teach guys to do. Okay. Women, they're looking for security and romance. So security, when you are spiritually strong, emotionally strong, mentally strong, sexually strong, right? You're providing her with that security. She knows she can trust you. You're going to be there for her. And you're providing her romance, which is feeling of mystery and excitement associated with love. So that's when you can, really surprise her with things. Emotional strength, really understand her at a deep level. Okay, be able to solve conflicts, be able to get into her shoes. Okay, that's going to provide romance for her. So when you build up these strengths, guys, you build up your confidence. And when you build up your confidence, you build up your attractiveness. Okay? At the end of the day, your wife wants to be chosen by the man that every woman wants. So when we look at Cinderella and Prince Charming, what makes that such an amazing thing for Cinderella is not just that Prince Charming chose her, but that, let's say, 1,000 other women were in that ballroom and he chose her, right? Another thing that's happening now, right, is The Bachelor. Okay, weird show if you think about it. This guy has like 20 women. They all know that this guy's like kissing other girls and all this, but they're still all going after him. Why? Because he's attractive, right? Now, Bachelor's a little bit of not the best example because some of that is them going after him, not because he has these strengths, right? And that's why a lot of those marriages fall apart after, because it's built more on, the fame aspect of it, right? Which is not any of these strengths. But in real life, if you can build these strengths, you are the real man that every woman wants. Okay. And then you're going to attract your wife to you. Or if you decide, hey, like after this affair, it's not going to work out, but I'm going to build these strengths anyway, be a great husband, to my future wife, be a great father to my kids. You build these strengths, you're going to be an incredible father. All right. So I'm going to build these strengths and I'm going to be the man that every woman wants. Okay. And I'll have my choice. And then I'll choose you. And that's what makes it so special. So what do you do next? I'd love to teach you how to build these strengths up. So visit MikeFrazierMD.com and register for our upcoming webinar. How to stop chasing your wife and have her start chasing you, even after infidelity. And you also get the email series, the 7-day strategy men use to save their marriage even after infidelity, when you register. So head over to MikeFrazierMD.com now, and I'll see you there.